Brooklyn Independent Television.
And now, reporter Brian Vines sits down with Borough President Marty Markowitz for a look at some of his plans for 2010.
I'm here with Borough President Marty Markowitz, who just rode into office for his third term on an 85% plurality, crushing his opponents to become our Brooklyn Borough President for once again. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
So looking ahead to 2010, a new year and a new term, you got in with 85% of the vote, which was an amazing margin, the largest in the city. So if there's any politician in the city who has a mandate, it's our Borough President, Marty Markowitz. So how do you plan to spend that political capital?
You know, this term I look to finalize a lot of different plans that I have and really get them on the way. I can't wait to buy a pair of boots or whatever to do the groundbreaking at Atlantic Yards.
Right.
And once that begins, we can welcome within my term, I hope, when the Brooklyn Nets take the field. I certainly want to be there. I'm very excited about it. But jobs is the emphasis in this next year. We have got to aggressively pitch companies across America that Brooklyn would be ideal for your regional sales or divisional offices. And if I can convince, and I'm not saying I'll succeed, but we're going to really do a press on getting one major manufacturer, and we're focusing on Korea.
Back to Brooklyn.
If we can get them to open up either a manufacturing or an assembly or something like that, plant, warehouse, whatever, in Brooklyn, I would consider it the start of something that would be major in Brooklyn. We need to find jobs for the men and women in Brooklyn. Even in economic good times, they have been left aside.
Yeah.
And I know that with proper training, almost every Brooklynite is employable. I know that, and we're going to concentrate on bringing those type of manufacturers to Brooklyn, we hope, and regional sales offices, and that's kind of jobs that require skills, of course, but that's necessary. Of course, we'll continue to work closely with our medical health areas, construction, real estate, higher education, arts community. All these represent job generators, retail community. That's why during Christmas we have, like I said, a program of shopping locally and everything we can do to help our local economy. Even though I have a new term, the borough presidency itself could be greatly enhanced, the job. When they eliminated the Board of Estimates and took out the budget role of the borough president, they substantially mitigated the importance of a borough president and the role in governance of New York City. Now, there could very well be, and more likely will be, a charter revision committee coming up next year, and I will very aggressively push for a change in the powers of the borough presidents to beef up the position, because I believe that a strong borough president would make for a better system of New York City governance, a more responsive government, and especially for the folks in Brooklyn or whatever borough. I'm going to work very hard to get the position of borough president beefed up. Like I said, I won't enjoy it, but it'll be important for the next borough president to have that opportunity, because I really believe that when it comes to land use and education and an independent budget, once you give the borough president those moderate adjustments in the charter, the position will be so much more meaningful and productive for the residents of each respective borough, and in my case, Brooklyn.
So as of right now, you do have a capital budget power where you get to essentially put your money where your mouth is. You've helped to fund that LGBT center that we talked about earlier. Everything from street lights and better signage to the cameras.
No question.
So with that capital
and many
budget,
but it's not enough. It's we have no money to help organizations in Brooklyn with their programs, with their staffs. Nothing. We get capital monies, that's in the city charter. But when it comes to discretionary monies, it's purely up to the mayor and the city council. And it's very simple. The city council would rather take care of their members than us. The mayor would rather take care of his agencies than us. So we're sort of like out here hanging like this with nobody really looking out for us. No one. I mean, the city council will help restore a few dollars to us, but they never restored us totally from the time I became borough president, January 2002 to now. Our budget has gone down at least by 60%. That's a lot of money. The city council budget has not gone down by 60%.
Right.
The mayor's budget. When you're not in the budget making, you're the last one that eats at the table.
So
that's what it comes down to.
The mayor, the number one job you spoke about a little while ago. In the last election cycle, you switched party lines and you went for Bloomberg and supported him.
Well, I did so also in 2005.
Right, and it's not unprecedented. You believe in Mayor Bloomberg and the work that he was doing.
I respect the fact, I respect his integrity, and he's a very competent, superb manager, and I truly believe that his desire is to make New York City a better place to live. It doesn't mean that I agree with him on everything, and I certainly do not agree with him. I don't think he's treated the borough presidents fairly in terms of our budget allocations and things like that, and I hope that in his last term and in my last term that might change. I hope so.
So why do you think that most of Brooklyn went for the other guy?
Went for, listen, Billy Thompson is a son of Brooklyn, although he lives in Harlem now. But he lived in Brooklyn all his life. He was deputy borough president of Brooklyn. He represented, he was president of the Board of Education from Brooklyn. So he has a long history, and I like Billy very, very much. It was a very difficult political decision for me to make.
We're going to wrap up now, and this will give you a chance to talk about your vision for Brooklyn and moving forward and working with the mayor.
What I spoke about earlier. Number one, jobs. By creating new jobs, they'll want to stay in Brooklyn because they'll have a wherewithal to support their families. Education, the emphasis on public education by Mayor Bloomberg, you may not agree with him or Chancellor Klein, but he did succeed in making public education number one on the list rather than in the back of the bus. It's in the front of the bus, and for that he deserves credit. And I don't agree with Chancellor Klein and everything, but there's no question that they're really hell-bent on getting those scores up and giving the best education we can, not just to the privileged, but to those that are among the most economically challenged in the borough, and I applaud them for that. And I visit schools primarily in those lower income areas, and I see the work being done both by public schools and charter schools to really beef up and bring up the skills of those young people and give them the thirst for knowledge so that they can make something of their lives through public education. So I'm very excited about it. Having said that, listen, while our crime rates are way, way down, one crime is one crime too many. There are still far too many guns in the hands of thugs and young people who should not be having guns. No one should have a gun as far as I'm concerned other than law enforcement. And that is still a major problem. Gangs is still a major problem in Brooklyn. Drugs is still a major problem in Brooklyn. And these are urban ills that Brooklyn has, the Bronx has, Queens has, Staten Island has, Manhattan has, Newark has, and every major urban center in America. But I'm confident with President Barack Obama at the helm of this country, at least we got somebody there who has a clue what real life is like in America. He understands the struggles of cities. I really believe that slowly but surely, when I say that Brooklyn is the promised land, that for those that are questioning, as you just mentioned, that they'll come to the realization, hey, maybe Marty is right. If I can make it in Brooklyn, where else matters anyway?
Thanks, Marty.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Brian. Tune in next month to see live coverage of Marty Markowitz's State of the Borough address.